SyFy Sistas live show.
Hi, everybody. Welcome to the SyFy Sistas live show on a Tuesday night. We are here with a really special show tonight. I'm Tamia Harper. I'm joined by my sisters, Yvette Blackman-Tom.
Hello.
And Fran T.
Hello. What's happening?
What's happening? What's
sexy
happening?
Fran. We got sexy Fran this week.
No joke, right? Fran
What's happening here?
Came with the hello.
Right.
What's happening? Got the girls on show and everything.
Yeah, everything. Wow.
Fran feeling. Look, I said Fran was out there doing the thing. That she said. She said, I'm tired. I'm tired.
She in her leader mode.
I need this. Thank you so much.
Kelly said, "Sexy Fran." Yep.
Hey.
Mm-hmm.
So say hello to these peoples.
Yeah, I say, hey Joel, hey Derek, hey Nicole. There's a lot of people out there. Hi y'all. I can't get in the chat tonight for some reason. I'm like signed out of my YouTube account. I don't know why, but so anyway, hey, I see you in the chat, but I can't join the chat with you. So yeah.
Before we do start, I just want to shout out everybody from Trek to Chicago this weekend. That was a great time. We had a great time. Thank you, Ryan. Thank you, Sirach, Anne-Marie, for having me out there. I had so much fun. I got to see all the peoples. Shout out to Chicago. Shout out to Detroit. They brought out all the listeners that we have been not able to see in a very long time since Tamia and I went to Mission Chicago back in 2021, I think.
Yeah, like pandemic had it had just lifted. Like whenever it just lifted, that's when we went.
Yeah. So I want to give a big shout out for everybody that came out when they found out I was there. That was so cool. They were like, "Oh, are the SyFy Sistas here?" And then it was just me. But you know, they were okay with that.
She said, like, that's nothing. Like, that's a pretty big deal.
It was really, really good. Todd Stashwick was there. He was wonderful. I finally got to actually meet him.
Yay!
So it was really nice. It was really nice. And Joel, of course. I met my friend Joel. He was the best. We had so much fun. Dave and Cassandra, of course, and Allison Lee tried. She was there, so it was really nice.
There's
really
Aurelius and Sniper and Jay Stokely and Dr. Ideal and Draco Dawn.
So I finally got to Aurelius, so that was so nice meeting him. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, Chicago! You mean that casserole? That ain't no pizza.
It's a deep dish, right?
I love Chicago
deep dish,
pizza.
right?
I'm going to leave that alone. I'm just not going to say anything.
Well, before we get, I know, because it's the New York versus. It's like, what's real pizza versus? I'm like, these are all different. Look. The world is big enough for multiple different types of pizza. Okay,
I know that. That don't mean nothing.
All right, I'm just saying.
The
Pizza
South don't have
lasagna.
no pizza. We don't have no pizza. We just eat what's in front of us.
Kelly, like, I don't lasagna.
I don't really care because it's not hard shell crabs, and if it's not crabs, like nobody cares. Like I don't care. Is it steamed crabs? No, not steamed crabs. Okay, I don't care.
Yeah, but it was fun. It was a good time. I was there with Bill from Trek Geeks also, so it was wonderful to see all the good family. It was good.
Yeah, I'm glad. I was jealous. I had FOMO for real. Every time I see all my friends going to a convention without me, it's hardcore FOMO. So,
True. I get it.
But you guys looked happy. You guys looked happy, and you made me happy.
Very much.
Right? Right?
Very much.
Mm-hmm. All the pictures that I'm seeing from people online, like they look so good. Everybody smiles from ear to ear.
Like, they was like, look, know who don't love my friends.
Yeah.
I got to see Gates again.
You saw her?
Yeah, I was brave. Yes.
All right.
Well, not that brave, but brave enough.
Well,
Yes.
Yay, we're so proud of you. We're so
Brave
proud.
enough for me.
Okay.
That's
Well,
it. That's all I got.
Yay. So
No, Kelly. Never mind. I'm not even going to answer her.
So y'all know why we're here tonight. We are here to celebrate Pancreatic Cancer Awareness Month and to honor the legacy of our dear Sabrina, Sister Subrina. And so we have like a really interesting lineup of people for you guys tonight and for this show. And stick with us, baby, because we got a lot to talk about. We got a lot to get through. We're in for a ride, okay? So, we're going to have, we're going to talk about gender and racial disparities in healthcare and health equity challenges. And then we're going to talk about PanCAN and the Pancreatic Cancer Action Network and the founding of that and what their mission is now. And then we're going to talk to our friends, some other friends of ours, as you guys will know, the Star Trek folks who have do Purple Stride, have a Purple Stride team, and talk about their stories around pancreatic cancer and why they do have a Star Trek Purple Stride team, etc. So we've got a lot coming up for you guys. And I want to quickly go ahead and move into our first section of the evening with this amazing woman that we are like, I'm so geeking out. Like I'm geeking out so hard because this sister is just, she's just on point. And I feel it really necessary to read out a lot of her bio because I feel like you all should know exactly who's in the house with us and how honored we are to have her as a guest. I'm talking about Dr. Elizabeth Hudson, who is, hi, welcome.
Thank you.
Welcome. She is an infectious disease specialist from Kaiser Permanente in Los Angeles, originally from New York. Go ahead, New York.
Hey,
Right here. Right here.
From the Bronx too. Hey.
But she's lived, but California's claiming her now. And she completed her medical degree in 2000, but she completed a combined residency in internal and preventative medicine while also completing a master's in public health, all at Yale University in 2004. Whoop, whoop. She then completed a fellowship in infectious diseases at Stanford University in 2007. Okay. She has held multiple leadership roles, including Chief of Infectious Diseases at Kaiser Permanente, Panorama City since 2015. Infection control officer and hospital epidemiologist since 2014, and regional chief of infectious diseases for Southern California Permanente Medical Group since 2021. This sister is fierce.
Wait a minute. Oh, I got something. Hold on.
We got a thing.
Wait, where's my thing? I got
what you got?
I totally forgot about this thing. Look at this.
We got
Wow. Thank you.
I just found it yesterday.
It's very cool. I love it.
See, that's what I'm talking about. I like you.
Yeah, I like it.
We love that too. That was pretty fun, Yvette.
That's what I'm here for.
Yeah. So, welcome to the show. We're so excited that you have it. And I did want everybody, I felt it was really important to run down your credentials. Number one, because you are a hardcore role model for so many of us,
Thank you.
You're welcome. It's true. And it's amazing enough to be an accomplished doctor, but then to do the things that you did simultaneously, all the work that you've done and the places you've been doing them where we are not necessarily represented, it just says a lot about your character and who you are as a human being.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I will say there were many places where I was the only Black person. I would say the vast majority of these spaces where I definitely was the only person who was Black. And it just kind of is sometimes when you go into these PWI areas, that you're just sort of used to that. My undergrad was also not particularly a super sort of mixed place, definitely a place where, I sort of, if you were a person of color, you definitely sort of stood out a little bit. But as you go higher, sometimes into some of the Ivies or more selective places, it's definitely something that you see. But I've always viewed it as something that really is something I use every day when I see my patients.
Right.
A lot of times I'm the only person of color that these patients will see sort of, and I will say I have a lot of Black patients who kind of, when they figure out, because sometimes my name is not necessarily, they see the name, they don't necessarily know, and then they look at me and they go, okay, I can just talk with her and just say things, and we just understand without another word being spoken, and it does make a huge difference and makes me feel comfortable, because there are a lot of things I can share with my patients that, we're talking about Thanksgiving and,
Sure.
talking to people. We're talking about dressing versus, stuffing and
Right.
cornbread and just different things I can kind of talk a little bit about, and not using raisins and things of that nature. So just kind of it's being able just to kind of have that level of cultural competence that, you just have because of who you are. I view it as something that I'm lucky enough to be able to do. I stand on the shoulders of my family. I will say something. One of my middle names is Freedom, and I never really knew why until sort of later in my life, when I realized that I was the only person in my family born with all their rights in this country at that point. So it was a really, powerful thing. And when as a kid, you're sort of like, why do I have this weird middle name? But then I'm like, this is why I have this middle name. This is who I am. This is what it represents. And, I feel like I have a duty to live up to that, because I was the first person in my family at that point who was born with all of her rights intact at birth. So, and that's powerful, because I'm not saying I'm young, but I'm not that old.
Right. Right. I guess if we really thought about it, we might also be in that category if we really thought about it. We might have been,
That's right.
So,
absolutely. And, as a Black person, as a woman too, in this country, you think of all the different rights that really women only got within the last 50 years. So it's powerful stuff when you have time to think about it, which I don't always have a lot of time to think about it, but I do. Thank you for giving me the opportunity to think about it.
Oh my gosh, thank you too. Because I think about it, I like, on the other hand, I feel like it's so important that people know what you had to travel through to be where you are now. But I also think about, as I'm reading this, how we, especially as Black women, but Black people in general, but especially Black women, how we constantly, how many times in a day were you having to run down your bona fides for people? We walk in the door, we got to do it.
Absolutely. It still happens. People will, automatically assume that I am not the physician. That sometimes if I'm sitting on the floor, they'll think that I'm the nurse, which is great. Nurses are amazing, and I would be dead without my nurses, but I'm not the nurse at that particular point, or, just people not sort of recognizing what your credentials are. And, you just have to always lead with, I always lead, I am Dr. Hudson. I'm not on a first name basis necessarily with most of my patients, because of the fact that I have to prove myself in a little bit different way. I have male colleagues who like their patients call them by their first name. The nurses call them by their first name, but it's different. They already have that level of respect just by simply the color of their skin and their gender.
Definitely.
I run a store in DC with my mother, and I remember there was a white guy who was working for us for a while, really awesome, but we would have people come in, and they would look at him like he was the owner of the store in this Black neighborhood, and they would ask and I'd be like, I'd introduce myself and I'd say, hi, I'm the general manager and director. My mother is the owner of the store. And then they would still turn to him and ask them his question, ask the questions, and like I wasn't even there, and it happens all the time.
Yes, absolutely. No, there have been times when I would walk in. I did a lot of teaching over the years, and you would walk in with like medical students or residents, and you're like the fellow as an example. They would maybe look to the medical student who knew not much about what was happening in front of him, but then they would kind of start asking him questions, and I would just look at them and say, probably that's not the person you want to ask that question to. This is his first day on the wards, and he barely knows anything. So
that is not the one. Yeah. I think every profession gets that, you know. It's like the walk of life that we have, you know. Like she said, you're always proving yourself every step of the way. Absolutely. And that gets extremely tiring.
It really does. You know, there's a lot of code switching that happens in my day-to-day life. You know, it's just something that you have to do to sort of make it through where you are in that one particular moment. But there are definitely times, just sometimes you watch these funny like videos of like, you know, being professional and Black at work, and then the minute that you get home, just being like, oh my God, you know, there are thoughts that are in your head that you just don't necessarily say, but you know, driving into work, listening to Tupac and whatever, and then going in and, you know, having very professional conversations. So.
Yeah, I used to go to work listening to Public Enemy.
Yep, 100%. That's right.
Then you get out, you're like, okay, hey everyone.
Hi. It's true. Hi. How you doing today?
Hey, you got to cope some way, you know.
Absolutely.
You know. Yep. And I love that you said that, because I know, you know, there are so many people that will listen to it in the chat and later on, and they're just women who work a regular 9-to-5 job, and they're dealing with this. And for you to even say that you're still dealing with this, not that it's good, but it just shows them that they're not alone.
Oh, 100%.
This is happening to all of us. So
it really, it really does. It is something that it doesn't matter sort of who you are, no matter how many credentials you have after your name. You know, there's not going to be an assumption when this Frakes walks in the room that I am going to be, you know, your clinician, or I'm going to be the one giving the presentation. You know, there's just a different kind of assumption that comes with it.
Yeah, I get that.
I mean, I think it's really interesting. So like we can talk about, like, there's the assumption that comes from your vantage point as the doctor. What's the assumption that we're met with when we walk through the door as patients? You know?
Absolutely. Yes. There's so much research that has come that really shows, especially Black women tend not to be believed when, I mean, there have been two very recent examples that have been everywhere of these Black women who were literally getting ready to give birth and were ignored, told to leave. And I tell people that is just one tiny moment. Can you imagine what Black women go through maybe they're not in such extremis of giving birth, but other things that happen, like women over a certain age, we start having changes that happen to our body. I know very, very, very well right here. And how that is sort of told, it's fine. You know, it's just something that you all just have to deal with, live with it, or, you know, you're complaining about things. And now the research comes out that says, hey, guess what? All those aches and pains you get when you're going through perimenopause and menopause, that's because the estrogen receptors are not getting estrogen. And it's real. This is not in your head. This is real. And women who are Black may have more of a heightened experience with it because there are other types of factors that happen to us from sometimes we get our periods at an earlier age. The sheer impact of living the kind of life that we all have to do, of being a woman and being Black, and the stress that has on our bodies, and how that sometimes can manifest itself as we get older. These are things that are just starting to be talked about a little bit more, which is terrific. I'm a proud member of Generation X, and I think we do a really good job about sort of saying, saying, hey, we're not going to do this the same way any
That's right.
longer. And
No more.
no
Not
more.
doing
No,
this.
none of this suffering. I mean,
Yeah.
we watched our moms, our grandmas do it, and we're like,
Exactly.
we're good. We're good.
Exactly.
That was my whole thing. I went to the doctor saying this, I'm not doing this anymore. The
Correct.
heat was in my head. And I'm like, somebody do something. And it wasn't a doctor, it was a PA told me, well, it was a young woman who told me this. Well, you know, when you get your age, you just have to deal with this stuff. And I said,
believe me,
first of all, that's the wrong
Did you start
answer
to twitch a little bit?
I mean, I had a similar conversation with my own primary care physician going back a couple years ago, and she's about 10 years younger than me. And I said to her, girl, you're going to be going through this. Don't dismiss what's happening to me. This is real and it'll be you. And I said, I'm doing this. I'm pushing you to learn more now so that when it's you in 10 years and all the other patients that are going to come after me, they won't have to deal with that. And I'm thinking, I'm a physician and I'm having a hard time navigating this and being viewed as like, this is like real. What happens to everyone else? And I know what happens to everyone else. They get treated poorly.
I had a PA tell me I was diagnosed by a neurologist with celiac disease. I went into my GI doctor who was supposed to diagnose this, right? Had this thing for like, this has been going on for like a couple of years and I didn't know, I knew something was wrong. I just didn't know what. So I go and I see this PA and she actually says to me, well, you know, people that look like you don't normally have this disease. She said this to me. And I said to her, maybe it's because I did a DNA thing. I said, maybe it's the Irish English 9% of my DNA gave me celiac disease.
Correct.
That is classic.
That is what I always tell people. I say, look at it. I said, Black people in this country are on average a quarter white. So guess what? All the things that you associate with white people are going to be here. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter what the melanin that you're seeing is in front of you is. That's what's in the DNA.
And I had it. They did the top part, I can never say that word, and they found it. And when I saw my doctor, the actual physician, and I told him what she said, and he said, you know, I'm really sorry. We used to think that, but we don't say that anymore. I said, you need to tell her not to tell people who look like me that. He said, I'll speak to her, but I won't say your name. I said, please tell her my name.
My name.
You can tell her my name. Like,
you
yeah,
know,
she gonna do she's not gonna spit in my food. We're not at a restaurant. Like,
you know,
so, I'm okay. I'm a big girl. I can handle it. Tell her my name.
Yeah.
Right.
Absolutely. Better call me up. I got some words for her.
Yes, there you go. That's right.
So I wanted to know, what are you seeing as are the biggest racial and gender disparities that are that we are dealing with, especially in this country?
Yeah, you know, it's funny. I was reading a little bit before we came on tonight, just kind of seeing some of the more recent data around cancer, because I knew we were going to be talking about pancreatic cancer. And I know that for Black men in general, sort of across the board, the rates of cancer across the board are just higher than basically any other group for all cancers. And there are a lot of reasons for that. I mean, men in general tend to not want to go to the doctor, so they're probably going to get diagnosed at a much later age. And I know I have a lot of Black men in my life. I know it can be very challenging for them to go to the physician, and there are real reasons to fear going to the physician. These are not things that are made up. These are real issues. But it also means that sometimes what we call sort of the linkage to care happens later, at a later stage potentially of cancer. So these are people that probably are not going to be able to live if they've been found at stage 2 versus stage 4. You know, perhaps they would have had a longer life. When you look sort of specifically at pancreatic cancer, Black men are still at the top, but unfortunately, Black women are starting to catch up very, very quickly to Black men. And I'm sure there are a lot of reasons for that that are not 100% clear yet, but that was a pretty troubling trend and wasn't something that I was as aware of. I knew certainly that in general, Black people have higher rates of cancer, which is the second leading killer in this country. Number one is heart disease.
Yeah.
But, really kind of looking at where things are, people who are Asian are at the bottom when it comes to, and I should add on East Asian for all types of cancer. It's important to know people who are American Indian, Alaskan Natives, and also Pacific Islanders. Pacific Islanders are pretty much second when it comes to rates of cancer. Sort of, it's usually people who are Black and then people who are Pacific Islanders, which is an interesting phenomenon that probably is tied to a myriad of different factors, including diet. But that was something that I sort of learned today. I was like, I wasn't aware of how high that rate is. But, people who are Black are overrepresented when it comes to cancer incidence, so getting cancer, and unfortunately cancer deaths as well.
Wow. Is that because of the disparities, or is that just like a genetic thing? What's happening there?
Yeah,
that's scary.
It is. It really is.
Very scary.
I think some of it is certainly, you can't dismiss 400 years of slavery and what that has done to people's, we call them your telomeres, or the ends of your genes. We have more recent sort of examples of this, of people who lived through the Holocaust, or sort of there was a group of people who lived in the Netherlands, and the Netherlands are known for having very tall people. I think on average their men are like six feet tall. There was a small cohort of children for a few years in the Netherlands when there was the Nazis cut off all the food, basically. So those kids ended up much shorter, like 5 or 6 inches shorter than like the kids that were born just a couple of years later, because they were living on things like tulip bulbs. There was no food to be eaten, and that's a very small cohort over a relatively small period of time, a horrific period of time, but a relatively small period of time. You're talking hundreds and hundreds of years, and it hasn't stopped. We've gone from slavery to Jim Crow to jail. So I mean, this is all part of
to industrial prison complex. Yeah,
correct, exactly. So
COINTELPRO and crack cocaine and
absolutely. It's all part of that. And we also know that people who are Black, less access to higher quality care, less access to insurance. So as an example, with this big, beautiful bill that has taken place and the loss of the ACA subsidies that is coming, I have real concerns about what that is going to mean for everyone, but particularly people of color and particularly Black people, because we know, say as an example, in parts of the rural South, that's a part of the country that was really heavily dependent upon those ACA subsidies. And I don't know what's going to happen to people once they are gone. So unfortunately, we are going to see an impact as years go on from that. So I think it's, it's multifactorial. It's not just nutrition. It's not just access to doctors. It's a lot of things together. And quite frankly, a distrust of the medical system, which is unfortunately very, very warranted.
Yeah, very much so. I mean, women just in general can't trust the medical community, and then put that on when it comes to race too. So it does worry me, because I think people don't go to the doctor knowing that doctors work for you. You should go in there, tell them what you're feeling, and also keep a diary of what's bothering you.
I think that's a big
and bring somebody with you.
Pay attention to the things that are going on with you. Don't just go, wow, and I felt that. Like when you feel symptoms and you're like, oh, this is more than just a fluke, like really start to notate. I have a thing in my notes on my phone that's just a running journal of health stuff every time something weird, because I've had a number of health.
Your mic is going out. Your mic is out.
My mic went out again.
Yep. Just as you started going. It happens.
Stupid thing. I think I'm just gonna have to unplug it.
Okay. Yes, they do work for you. Good. Now we can't hear you at all.
I can read your lips, though.
We can read your lips, though. So I'm gonna go ahead and ask you, for the people watching tonight, what kind of symptoms or changes in their bodies should they never ignore? Since we're talking about that.
Absolutely. If all of a sudden you start to lose weight and you don't know why, if you're trying to, that's different. But if all of a sudden you're losing 5, 10, 15, 20 pounds, something is wrong. It doesn't have to be cancer. It could be your thyroid. It could be something else.
Celiac.
Yes, exactly correct. So it's something you should not ignore. If you start having chest pains, those are also not something that you should ever say, oh, it's no big deal. Yeah. No, if you're having chest pains, I always say it's much better to go to the hospital, go to the ER. If it turns out that it's nothing, it's nothing. But if you ignore that, because cardiac issues are the #1 killer in this country, other things really, making sure you're keeping up with all of your preventative stuff. I mean, making sure you get if you're a woman, you get your mammos every year or every other year. If you are a Black woman, that is really supposed to potentially start age 35. For everyone else, it's age 40. Making sure that you, making sure you get a colonoscopy. A lot of people hate it. I've had one. The prep is not fun, but the procedure itself is easy. And I will say, over the last 5 or 10 years, I have just seen so many more young people with colon and rectal cancer. And it's something that, it's the one thing that we can actually prevent. If you go in, you have a colonoscopy, they cut out the polyps, that was something that could become cancer. You don't have to worry about that. And any time that you're just like, something doesn't feel right. I think I always tell people, when something is different, when you're like, I just don't feel like my usual self. And there could be a lot of different reasons for that. Sometimes the psychological can impact the physical, and it's important to not ignore our mental health. I think that's something that within our community there's an awful lot of stigma around it. I will say that we've had a couple of physician suicides that I've heard of recently, and and I'm thinking, if these are physicians, there's a lot of stigma within our own community about admitting that there's anything wrong with you mentally, physically. Very, very similar to the Black community, actually. It's a very stoic. It's like, I'm just going to power through it. You can't. I tell people having a mental health issue, you wouldn't tell somebody who had celiac disease, well, you shouldn't tell them just to power through it. You would say, no, we need to make changes. We need to help you.
Okay.
Yeah, you're no big deal. Just walk it off. So, that is something that I always say, listen to what you are feeling. And if something isn't right, always better to ask. And if you don't get the answer you want or think you should get the first time, keep going. Because there's plenty of doctors out here. There are plenty of professionals who can help you.
Yeah, I think that's what everybody needs to hear. That, if you don't feel right, that means something. If this doctor is not saying what you want them to hear, that means something. Don't think these doctors know everything.
Yeah. Well, and
go ahead.
Can you hear me? And I also think, like, one of the things that, like, always trips me up a lot of times, like you said, like, if you're not feeling right, say something, like, go to some. I always feel like, for some reason, I feel like I'm supposed to know what the hell is wrong with me. Like, I'm going to the doctor, and I'm supposed, like, they're like, well, how do you feel? I'm like, I don't know.
Right.
It's weird. Like, I'm gonna try to give you as much descriptives as I can. But, like, I also feel, for some reason, like I have a weight of responsibility on my shoulders to be like, okay, this is what's wrong with me. Like, when it's not, I'm just supposed to tell you what's going on with me, and then you're supposed to lead me in the direction of finding the test and figuring it out.
That is the job of the physician. And I always say, if you're not getting what you think you need, it's time to change, because, you know, there is nothing more precious than our health, and we don't always realize it until we don't have it, or we see somebody we love who does not, who loses their good health. Nothing else truly matters. And if you notice something that isn't right and your doctor is not giving you what you need, you just have to keep on. Believe me, when I started having my own issues related to perimenopause and menopause, I'm like, okay, I'm not getting what I need here. I just have to keep on looking and looking and looking. And it's not fun to have to be the person who is doing that, but we have to advocate for ourselves. And if you are feeling like maybe you're not kind of getting what you need, it's not a bad idea to bring somebody with you when you go to the doctor, because a lot of times we say things, and believe me, I know I've been doing this long enough. I know when I look at patients and I'm like, they've heard what I've said, but they haven't taken it in.
Right.
And you need someone there to help you. And then sometimes to say, you know, hey, let's have another visit in a couple of weeks. Let's really make sure that you're getting this. Let's really make sure that you can that this is something that you're going to be able to do or live with. And if it isn't, then this is something that we have to figure out a different way to help you with. But it's not something that you should be feeling like you're on your own with. That is the opposite feeling that you should have.
Exactly.
I'm at the age where I see my PCP every 4 months.
Yes, absolutely. I mean, I have patients who come to see me, you know, every couple months. And if they want, I tell people, if something isn't right, just call me, just email me. Let's get you in sooner. You know, whatever is happening, I'd much rather, you know, find out it's not a big deal versus you keeping it to yourself. I always tell my patients, don't keep things to yourself. Tell me.
Right.
Yeah.
Exactly.
And just before we move off of this, because I know we have to keep going with the show and we started a little bit behind, I just want to say to everybody, like, I feel the importance of what you're saying so much about self-advocating, and I hope you guys find the strength to do it. Like, I mean, we know like Sista Subrina, thanks to doing a show with our guests who were coming later tonight, almost a year before she was diagnosed with pancreatic cancer, went to her doctor and said, I think I have pancreatic cancer. Please check me for pancreatic cancer.
Yeah.
You know, and then was told that it wasn't pancreatic cancer and that it was all these other things, you know. So like I take that as a lesson to trust myself, and we know our bodies. We each individually know our bodies better than a stranger is going to, you know. And we, like you said, if we know something's wrong, keep fighting to find out the truth of what's going on.
Absolutely. And I mean, pancreatic cancer is devastating. You know, it truly is. Most of the time, by the time we figure out that someone has it, it is too late to really do much for someone. I will say there is a lot of research going on for that. And that's why it's wonderful that all of your guests that are coming up will be able to kind of talk a little bit more about that, because we don't have terrific screening tools. And oftentimes people don't know that they're told a million different things. And then in the end, sometimes they find out that they have this kind of cancer.
Yeah. Yeah.
Is that how pancreatic cancer is? It has nothing to do with anything else. It's just really hard to diagnose.
It is, you know, the pancreas is a very silent organ. You know, it's not something that usually causes any kind of issues. You're not like aware of it. And because of that, that is why it can be very, very challenging to find. You know, there are risk factors for it, certainly, but there's sometimes it just happens and we don't necessarily have a good reason why, but it is a very deadly cancer. And when someone has it, you know, usually, unfortunately, they will end up passing from it. And it's very, very hard. I had a very favorite aunt who passed of this cancer when I was in medical school. So I know how hard it is and how quickly people can pass from it. It's very, very hard to watch.
Yeah. Yeah, indeed it is. But on a little bit of a lighter note, I am so grateful that we have women like you in the medical world. You know, I always advocate, like, if you're a person of color, to try to find a physician and physicians who are also of color, because we actually care about, like, not to say other people don't, but we stay up on the differences on the what's happening in current trends with, with medicines and with treatments and stuff. And we look specifically for how those things affect our populations, which a lot of the clinical trials do not include us. So we get results back that are not for us, so it's not, I'm not trying to be divisive with this. I'm saying this is strictly as this is real talk, like my body is different than yours, and so I just want to say thank you for that, for being part of that.
Yes.
You are most welcome. I am, I always encourage people, if you can find a physician who is like you, who looks like you, sometimes it's just, I will tell you, I work with a lot of HIV positive folks, and HIV very disproportionately impacts the Black community. So I certainly have patients who specifically seek me out, and I put things in my biography so that people kind of can know who I am, because it does make a difference. There's just like I've said before, it's a level of sort of cultural competency and currency that makes the conversations around things just a lot smoother and easier for folks to get.
Yes, I agree. So glad you came.
Thank you. Thank you so much for having me. I really, really appreciate the opportunity, and I love all of your figurines in the background. I keep
You're
looking at
Trekkie too, right? Aren't you a Trekkie?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
I forgot to bring that up.
I know it was a reason why I liked you.
Well, if I was in my office, you could say I have a lot of interesting figurines there too. So maybe one time, if you ever have me on again, I'll be in my office.
We're gonna have you on
show
again.
off all of my things too.
You're coming back. Don't worry.
Yes, you are. Like I'm thinking of an episode already.
I already got it.
Tailor-made.
I already know.
Maybe
you're coming back.
Just be more than one.
Yes.
That's awesome. Thank you so much.
Yes. Thank you. Thank you.
Have a good holiday.
Thanks for joining us.
Happy Thanksgiving. Bye-bye.
Thank you. You too.
Thank you.
You also.
Bye. That she just filled my heart with
she did.
so much,
Wonderful. Wonderful.
I'm really excited. I hope you guys got a lot out of that too, because that was fantastic. She's amazing. And to move us right along, I'm so excited to welcome Pamela Acosta Marquardt to us. She is the founder of the Pancreatic Cancer Action Network. Hello.
Wait, hold on. I'm sorry. This is new. So.
I love that. Thank you. And oh my gosh, Dr. Hudson was wonderful. And I just want to say ditto to so much that she said. I was shaking my head the whole time.
I know, she was awesome. I figured you probably were. We are so excited to have you with us. I mean, this is a big honor for us because, we've done shows around PanCAN and in honor and for PanCAN before, but to have the founder of PanCAN here with us, I mean, and especially after going what we just went through, I can't begin to thank you for all the efforts that you have put to make this amazing organization bring it to life. I mean, it was absolutely invaluable for our sister Subrina, and I see, we were able to see firsthand the amazing work that you all do.
Thank you. It's definitely a huge community effort. We call it our giant purple family that spans everywhere across this country and now across the world, actually. And, it was just my crazy idea. I always say, when you're too stupid to know that certain things can't get done, guess what? You just And I've always been a big believer in not only dreaming big, but believing big, because you can dream big all you want, but if you don't have that belief system in place, it ain't going to happen. Right. So, I'll tell you, when my mom got that diagnosis back in 1996, and I was in the room the medical room with her when the doctor said, you've got a tumor in your pancreas and it's cancer. And so me being the A-type personality that I am, I'm like, all right. So then what do we do now? And do you know that doctor just stared down at his shoes? And the first thing that crossed my mind was, oh my gosh, this is the cancer that Michael Landon had. And, everybody was in love with Michael Landon back in the day. And I thought, wow, if he couldn't save himself with all of his fame and celebrity, how on earth am I going to save my mother? So the next brilliant thing that crossed my mind was, I know, now you got to remember, this was 1996, June of 1996. That was a long time ago. I said, I'll go on to that new World Wide Web thing.
The interwebs.
Listen, I am way older than all of you all. I thought,
no, you're not.
Not that one. Not that one.
No, you're not.
Oh,
Okay. Look,
Yeah.
she's older than the rest of us, but
I'm probably
Maybe.
older than you think. Okay. But anyway, so I had just gotten my first computer and I thought, let me look it up. And I searched high and low. And do you know, there was not a single organization anywhere in the world for pancreatic cancer. I mean, this is crazy. I mean, they're telling my mom, maybe she's got 3 to 6 months to live and nobody's doing anything about it. That was like not okay with me. The only thing I did find, I found this small antiquated chat board from Johns Hopkins that one of the pathologists there provided this chat board. So that became my lifeline. And over the 6 months that my mom lived before she lost her battle, I saw more and more people coming onto that chat board, you know, with my mother, my father, my sister, my brother, my aunt, my whatever it was. And I thought, wow, this is crazy that nothing is happening.
Yeah.
And during that 6 months, I also started realizing that there were a lot of celebrities besides just Michael Landon that had died of pancreatic cancer and nobody talked about it. I mean, Paul Mitchell, the famous hair care guy, pancreatic cancer. Jack Benny, Joan Crawford, Donna Reed. Now, some of you aren't old enough to remember these people. But,
You're talking to the people in the chat.
right.
Because we know who all those people are.
Okay.
Joan Crawford, come on now.
Okay, so Henry Mancini. I mean, the list went on and on and on. So when I found out that there was a doctor at Johns Hopkins that wanted to study early detection, but there was no money for a lab for him, I thought, this is crazy, you know, and that was not my world at all. I came out of the fashion industry and did a few other things with my life, but that was definitely not my world. So I thought, well, that's crazy. Like, he wants to study early detection. And in my mind at the time, I thought, oh, if my mother had been detected early, she would still be with us. Because back then I didn't know, okay, you can detect them early, but if you don't have effective treatments, they go hand in hand.
Yeah, they do. Yeah.
So I called them up and I decided I was going to start doing a little fundraiser, and I started promoting it on this page. And it's really kind of a funny story. We all laugh about it today, but I get a call like at 6 o'clock in the morning, because, you know, they're on the East Coast. I'm here, you know, LA area. And a call from this woman who said, you cannot be posting fundraising posts on our chat board, because this is for people that come, you know, wanting to talk about themselves having pancreatic cancer or a loved one, etc. And I said, but I'm trying to raise money for you.
Right.
Right.
I don't do it. Like, I'm trying to raise money for you. And I said, who says that I can't do this? And she says, well, and I can share his name because he and I laugh about it now. She said, well, Dr. Ralph Rubon. And I said, well, then why don't you tell Dr. Ralph Rubon to give me a call? So, of course, the next morning, the next morning he does give me a call. And so he says, well, if you really want to raise money, that's when he told me about this doctor that wanted to study early detection. And I said, well, how much would that cost? He said, well, let me have somebody call you. So he's probably thinking, oh, here's a big major donor on the other end of the line. And it was just me. So the next day, somebody calls me, and I'm sure it was people from their development department, thinking they had a hot one on the line. I said, well, how much will it cost for Dr. Goggins' lab? And they said $400,000. Now, this was the end of
1996, right?
$400,000. And I said, oh my gosh, that's a lot of money. Right. Like, what does he need for his lab? Like a table, a microscope, some people? What costs $400,000? So anyways, yeah, like I said, today we laugh about that. I finally said to them, what is the minimum amount I can give you? If I pledge to pay off that $400,000, what is the minimum amount I can give you so that this doctor doesn't leave and go study a different disease besides pancreatic cancer? They said we would need $100,000 to start off with. I said, fine, put me down. And I had come up with this crazy idea because, like Dr. Hudson had mentioned, she works a lot with HIV patients. I had just watched what had happened in the whole world of HIV/AIDS. I had lost a lot of friends to AIDS, and nobody wanted to talk about it. It was a big taboo subject until the celebrities came out. Elizabeth Taylor, Michael Jackson.
Yep.
Excuse me, I've got this lingering cough.
Right.
Then all of a sudden, it was like this cool new thing to talk about, and things started getting done.
Yeah.
So I thought, okay, we've got pancreatic cancer. It was like ignored, swept under the carpet. We've got all these celebrity families that have lost loved ones. I need to pull all of them together, and we'll do some big celebrity something or other. And I thought, but wait, all the celebrities are all dead. How's it? I'm going to get their families.
Right.
So my crazy idea, I decided to produce a big black tie celebrity gala in Beverly Hills at the Beverly Hills Hotel, November 8th, 1998. Every single one of the celebrity families were there. We were a sold out event. And people say, how did you even connect with all of these families? And I say all the time, I'm probably not as religious as I should be. I mean, I'm Jewish, but I'm not as religious as I should be, but I'm very spiritual. I'm very big into believing in the universe and manifestation and watching for those signs to be able to connect the dots. And that's how it happened. There's no other way I can explain. That night, we ended up netting just over $100,000.
Oh, wow.
Wow.
And we got that lab started. 3 months later, I started the Pancreatic Cancer Action Network.
Wow.
And in the meantime, the participation on the Hopkins chat board had really grown. So people were popping up all over the country now with their stories saying, oh, I want to do a little fundraiser in my neighborhood. I want to do a car wash, or I'm going to do a little walk in memory of my so-and-so or whatever. And the money just started coming in. So, and we knew from the very beginning, that we couldn't just focus on funding research, because in the beginning, we didn't have the money to fund research. We knew that the biggest chunk of money, I don't care what disease you are, the biggest investment in any kind of medical research comes from the federal government.
Right.
Okay. So even if we had the money, we started funding research. If we weren't also doing advocacy work to get more federal investment into pancreatic cancer research, where were those researchers going to go for the big bucks?
Right.
Right. So we knew we had to fund research eventually when we had the money. In the beginning, we didn't, but we had big voices and big feet that we could open our mouths and stomp our feet. And we started doing these advocacy days on Capitol Hill once a year. And we started just turning that hill purple every year. And people were starting to pay attention. And I might add, when my mom was diagnosed in 1996, the I think the 5-year survival rate was around 3 or 4% back then.
Okay.
Today, we've gotten it up to 13%, which is we more than 3x'd it, but that's still pathetic. We got a long way to go. But again, the research, the advocacy, we knew we needed to create a community for people and families to come together and know that they weren't alone. And the biggest thing, and here's what I would have given my eye teeth for, we needed to create a patient services program where when somebody got a diagnosis of pancreatic cancer, they could pick up the phone, call and talk to somebody that would give them the most up-to-date information on pancreatic cancer that was available so that the patient and their family could make informed decisions about their journey. And that became such a critically important piece because I would have loved to have that. And today, we not only have all of the most up-to-date information on the disease, but we own and manage the most up-to-date clinical trial database in the world for pancreatic cancer.
Wow.
We can give patients, newly diagnosed patients that come to us, we can give them information on genetic testing, on biomarker testing, on just questions to ask your doctor.
Yeah.
So many times people don't know. And we encourage people, just like you were mentioning earlier, you have got to be your own best advocate and don't ignore these symptoms because the symptoms are so vague. It could be indigestion. It could be some back pain, like maybe you pulled a muscle or whatever, because, like Dr. Hudson was saying, the pancreas it's kind of does its own thing. I mean, it produces insulin and it also produces digestive enzymes. So sometimes when people are having indigestion, they're not realizing that it's their pancreas that's not functioning properly.
Oh, wow.
Wow.
But typically, the doctors don't look for that first. It's just how it is.
Right.
They look for it last. So we're always on the bandwagon of creating awareness, not just with the general public to know the questions to ask, but also with the healthcare professionals. And we have a lot of programs for them too. Like, for instance, even our clinical trial database that we have built, and we have people on staff that their prime job is to stay in touch with all of the principal investigators from every single trial that's in our database to make sure it's up to date. Wow. We have a portal that we can provide to medical professionals and to researchers so that they can go in and look around as well. So we try to do all of these things. In fact, probably 10 or maybe 11 years now, we came up with a program called Know Your Tumor, because we knew that if we could take a look at the tissue sample from a pancreas tumor, or if it had metastasized to the liver, because our stage 4 patients typically metastasize to the liver. The liver's reasonably easy to get into, pancreas not so much, to get a sample. And we wanted to have some options for our stage 4 metastatic patients, because they're the ones that are being given this. You've got 3 to 6 months, go home and get your affairs in order.
Yeah.
And
Right.
it pains me to share that there are still doctors out there today, many times in local community settings, that still basically say that's it. They don't tell them about PanCAN. They don't tell them about other options. They don't know.
Right.
So, but we knew that if we could get tissue sample, and not we PanCAN, but I mean, we partner with people that do the actual, looking at all that, we could send that off for analysis and take a look at, like, in simple terms, what made those cells behave badly to begin with. And in probably about 50% of the cases that we've done over the past 10, 11 years, there's probably, I don't know, I'm just guessing these are roundabout numbers, but maybe 25% of the people that have a reasonably actionable mutation. And then there's another 20 some odd percent that have a highly actionable mutation, meaning that when we see what their mutation is, we have a panel of experts that then take that and go out and search for a drug or a combination of drugs, whether it's pancreatic cancer or not. We're not looking now at we're kind of looking at, again, what made those cells behave badly, not the fact that this tumor was in the pancreas. We don't care where in your body it manifested itself.
Mhm.
We want to know, this is what precision medicine is all about. Find out if there's a mutation, find a drug that was developed to hit that mutation.
Mm.
Like very common, BRCA1, BRCA2, you've all heard about that. That was originally the breast cancer gene, but now we know it's tied to breast cancer, ovarian cancer, pancreas cancer, and more. And just like there's a higher rate of incidence in the Black community, there's also a higher rate of incidence in the Ashkenazi Jewish community, which
how interesting
is. So
I've heard that before too. Yeah.
Yeah. And so we've had some real interesting success with this Know Your Tumor program. And we've now taught the big institutions around the country that it's important to do this. So we're not always having to be the ones doing it and coordinating the effort. We want them to be doing it on their own because we've now published papers on the fact that it does make a difference.
Wow.
And we feel confident that if we can get people to call in and speak to one of our case managers, that there's a big likelihood that they may just have better outcomes because they're armed with the right information.
Yeah. I truly believe that. I truly believe that because we have seen this organization in action,
unfortunately.
Right. Unfortunately, we've seen it in action very personally, and we've seen it from, our guests who are coming up. I don't know, Yvette, how you want to do it, if you want to bring them all in at the same time, and we can all be on here now. Okay.
I love hanging with them.
Yay. Hey, guys.
I should have asked Jonathan if he was ready. Sorry about that.
Sorry, guys.
I'm in.
Please, everybody, please
Thank you,
welcome.
ladies. Thank you for all the wonderful things we've been listening to.
Thank you.
It's incredible.
We can't hear Tamia.
You can't again?
I hear you.
No.
I hear you.
You guys,
I hear her.
Okay. All right.
I hear you.
Can you guys?
Okay.
Jen,
We can hear.
Can you guys hear her?
Yeah.
Can everybody hear Tamia
Yes.
on the panel?
Okay.
Yes.
Yes.
I'm okay. All right. Yay. Can you, Kitty and Armin, can you hear anybody else? Or is it just me?
Can you guys hear me?
Oh,
Yes,
oh,
I
they
hear.
can't hear.
I hear everybody. I can hear everybody. I've got everybody.
I got everybody.
All right, somebody will just tell us what our favorite woman in purple says. Hey, look, we took delivery today from our SyFy Sistas.
I love it.
And I have a hat.
Yay!
T-shirt for these two.
Yes, I love it. I love it.
Yay,
See, I got
we're
the hat
matching.
too.
Okay,
Yay.
let me introduce everybody right quick. Okay, we've got we're joined by John Billingsley. Hi, JB.
Hey, my dear.
Kitty Swink and Armin Shimmerman. Hi, Jonathan Frakes and Juan Carlos Coto. Hi.
Hello, hello.
Welcome back
Trying to get
the
everybody.
show.
Sorry.
Hello, hello.
Hello, hello.
Echo.
Getting the merch.
You're looking very merry, Jonathan. May I just
Yes.
say you're
Hi,
looking
everybody.
you're looking very
I know.
Christmassy. Were you eggnogging before you got on the show, or
I don't.
are you?
Nogging. Uh-oh.
Well,
I do egg rolls, but not eggnog.
all right,
Oh.
all right. You're just looking very jolly and red faced and Santa Clausy and everything.
Not Santa Claus. Wow.
I got Santa Claus.
Man, he just
Gotta get a
came
charger
out
though
with
on
that.
the phone. Please carry on and abuse Billingsley appropriately while I'm gone.
Yes, we will.
John.
Okay, we shall. We
Easy to
shall.
do.
We shall. Go ahead, Tamia.
Well, welcome back to the show, everybody. Thank you for being here with us.
Someone's
Again.
speaking. We can't
Thanks for
hear
having
them.
us.
Oh no.
Uh-oh.
Let me see if I can fix this for you guys. Let's see. Go ahead, Tamia. I'll see if this helps. Go ahead, Tamia.
I
Keep
had
going.
Tamia for a second, but now she's gone. Yeah.
Oh, now we don't have Tamia.
Well, she's muted. It says she's muted, so I don't know if she did that or maybe you did that on some panel.
She did it.
Because I can. Oh yeah, I can see a. It's weird.
Yeah.
I can see a.
It's
oh, there you go.
her. I need to buy her a new microphone.
Yes.
Yeah,
Maybe it's a
my
space bar thing.
I need a new- Can you guys hear me yet?
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
You know,
Yeah.
Mhm.
Okay, great.
Ladies,
All
we're
right.
going to have to do what we do at conventions. Once we get something from a questionnaire, the host repeats the question. So if Tamia has something to say, if one of you other people will repeat it back to us, we'll do our best to answer if it's directed to us. Otherwise, leave it to all the more knowledgeable people.
Okay. You got it.
Okay, sounds good. Well, you got it, buddy. Thanks. I mean, I'm just like, I'm excited to see you all again. I'm not excited about the particular circumstances for SyFy Sistas, but I am excited to do what we can to help raise awareness about PanCAN and the Purple Stride. So for people who didn't see the show last year, can you all give us a brief recap of how you all got involved with PanCAN and what you're aiming to do now?
Tamia wants to know what you guys are up to now.
What? That's like
I'm up to 5'5.5". Kitty said 5'10".
I'm up to no good.
I knew you would have a good one, JB.
Oh my God.
We're trying to raise some money for PanCAN and awareness for PanCAN.
Right.
Because we don't want any more Subrinas because we loved her.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And it is highly ironic and tragical that we were talking about this before she was diagnosed, and now she's a victim of this horrible disease. One of the things that Pam was talking about, which is so important, is PanCAN has such an incredible outreach program. If someone has any questions, they must call PanCAN and get in touch and talk to the professionals. The doctor was talking about what doctors can do, but we have learned that, as in every profession, some people are better or more experienced or more knowledgeable. That's probably the best word. More knowledgeable than others. Go to the very best doctors you can, and PanCAN can provide those people for you in whatever community you live in.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And Subrina did have a case manager, but she didn't have a case manager after the first doctor said, "Oh, you have something else."
Yeah.
And she came to me like 6 months later and said, "I still have all these symptoms." And I'm like, "You have to go back. You have to call that. You got to get a case manager.
And what I've been saying ever since I joined this campaign is always get a second opinion. Always speak to another doctor. First doctor, the second doctor that Kitty talked to, who was the expert in the field here in Los Angeles, or we were told one of the experts. And he looked at his shoes and said, there's nothing we can do for you. You're going to die. And that was 24 years ago.
22, yeah.
And you have to get a second opinion. And the best place to get a second opinion, if not the first opinion, is through Pam and PanCAN.
Yeah.
I always say it boils down to one word, which is action, right? It's in the name, Pancreatic Cancer Action Network. What did Pam do 25 years ago? She took action, right?
Yeah.
She went on this board. She took action, right? So it's up to you to take action in your own life, in your own case, be your own advocate, and make that move, right? If you think it's not right, get another doctor. Take action for yourself and take action for others. I mean, that's why we're here, right? Just create that movement and that motion. So I think it's as simple as one word, really, for me.
And to second what JC just said, and you can do this through PanCAN, get yourself a test. If you have a family member who's had pancreatic cancer, get a test to see what's the likelihood of you getting this cancer as well. Because you would be at the head of the line if a family member has already got this.
Yeah. I think also the fact that PanCAN puts case managers on things, the people who are suffering with the disease are one thing, and the families are another. And the families who get served by this organization, need it more than sometimes the victims. And it's a spectacular. I mean, Kitty reaches out to people all year round, and I know she takes care of people who really need her. And there are people like that. Whenever you contact PanCAN.org, is helping you, and it's helping the family, and it's helping your loved ones, and it's a spectacular organization. And I like Pam's story. I hadn't heard it from the beginning before. It's a wonderful story.
Wonderful.
Yeah. No,
She's
same.
The sneaky Pete. She gets us all in. She's like that.
You got to have that person, because how does anything get done if you don't have that person? It's like, hey, come over here. I need you to help me do this, So definitely appreciate you all. Because
we appreciate you for having us.
Well,
thank you. And
from the first time
word.
you came on, I mean, like Tamia was saying, I mean, you opened our eyes to so much, because we all, the three of us that are still here, knew what Subrina was going through before you came on.
We did.
And so every time you spoke about these symptoms, we're like, our eyes are bugging out of our head. We're looking at each other. I think we even text each other a little bit about this is what Subrina has been complaining about, and unfortunately, I know you guys were saying, you have to go in, but it's really difficult when it's you, and I know you know that, Kitty. But I'm not going to sit here and speak for Subrina, but I'm sure that diagnosis, or just trying to figure out exactly what it is very difficult to deal with when you know your body and you're like, this is not right. Whatever is happening is not right. So I do want people to understand that I know this stuff is here for you. Please take advantage of it. Your body. We said this earlier. We remember, the three of us know Subrina suffered, and I just don't want anybody to suffer when there's things that you can do for yourself.
We were cabin mates on the cruise this year in February, and she was going through some stuff, y'all. I know she was, and she hadn't been diagnosed then, but she was going through some stuff, and we was like, that. She said, "Yeah, they told me I'm diabetic now, and it's like, oh gosh."
Well, can I say really quickly too, that when you mentioned diabetes, because this is something that wasn't touched upon, we now know that if somebody like over the age of 50 gets sudden, like I said, late onset of what appears to be type 2 diabetes, and they've never had diabetes before, we know that in a small cohort of people that get that sometimes that is actually the first symptom of undetected.
That's precisely what happened to Manny. That's precisely what happened to my brother. That's exactly how it started.
That's exactly what happened to Sabrina.
Yeah. He could not quench his thirst. He was super thirsty. His wife said, that's a diabetes thing, because my dad had it, but her dad was 80 and is 80 and got it late. And so that's how it started. He checked out the diabetes, and then they found the tumor in the duct of the pancreas. So, that's what caused the diabetes. So that's one of the major symptoms. Red flags.
That's exactly what happened to her. And then they put her on all kinds of medication, and never went back to the original thing she went for, which was pancreatic cancer, And so it got lost in the diabetes diagnosis.
So what we're learning here is that humans don't want to admit that they're sick.
Yes.
They want to say, I'll get over this. So it's incumbent of all
especially men
here.
Yes.
A friend, a relative, a co-worker who's manifesting these symptoms. They won't admit to themselves that they're sick. You, the friend, you, the family, the worker, the family relative, you need to tell them, you need to have this checked.
Sabrina did try. She really did.
Try. Yes, she did.
She did.
I remember talking in Las Vegas at the party that you guys did, and she and I stood in the kitchen, and she said, "I don't understand. And I said, "You have. We have our arms around each other.
But one of the things that and Yvette, please, if they can't hear me, please do the whole thing, okay?
Yes,
Not
ma'am.
just 2 words of the thing,
Okay.
okay? All right. So
We can hear it.
I go.
Go ahead.
One of the things that I really wanted us to focus on to talk about a little bit before we have to go is how much this support network for patients and for their families it is. I wanted to get to that because I wanted to let people know a little bit about like what that support looks like.
Tamir wants to know what the support looks like for their families, the patients and the families. What does it really look like, PanCAN? Pam?
Yeah. So, I mean, we have what we call a survivor and caregiver network, where we have survivors who volunteer their time, caregivers who volunteer their time. And somebody might call in and say, I'm a caregiver. My loved one is dealing with pancreatic cancer. Is there somebody I can talk to that's in the same situation as me or has been in these same shoes? And we can connect them to people that have volunteered the time to do that. So that's one thing. But I think what's really huge is so many times the family members feel so kind of lost. You get a diagnosis of pancreatic cancer, and it's like somebody is speaking a foreign language to you. So we can work with the family members too, to really have them feel a little bit more empowered to be able to care for their loved one. And I think that is so important.
Yeah.
And just to have someone, I know I faced it alone. Perhaps the other people here who've lost family members all faced it alone. That's a terrible situation to be in. It is so comforting to know there's a group of people that Pam has established that you can talk to and you don't feel alone. When I go to Purple Stride and I see the people who are victims of the disease or family members of the victims, and they say, I had no idea there was this many people and they've all been through it together. There's a great sense of community. I think Dr. Hudson talked about that as well.
Yeah.
Great sense of community. Take advantage of the community. They're out there. They want to help. They want to share. It is not something you should endure alone.
Well, and can I just say too that, Purple Stride is our signature event. We do nearly 60 Purple Stride events all on one day. This coming year is going to be April 25th. So in communities all across the country, on that same day, Purple Strides are happening. And I had somebody once explain to me that walking into a Purple Stride event where everybody's, wearing their purple and waving their purple, and they're there to really celebrate their loved ones and possibly their loved ones that they lost. But they said it felt like walking into a giant purple hug.
Wow.
And it really does feel that way. And I'll just say the Trek Against Pancreatic Cancer team has led the way in really establishing what commitment, what passion, what motivation and the drive behind what they do. And they give people hope. I mean, they totally give people hope. It's an amazing.
Well, we really owe that to Kitty, who, as we always say, is the living embodiment of hope. She really is, and
Absolutely.
she drives us all.
So we're a family. It's a family. And
Trek itself speaks to that as well, right? I mean, it also is inspiring for all those reasons, just as an ethos and as an institution and as an idea and as a show and as everything, right? So, as a lifestyle.
Yeah. So can you, I really wanted to ask you guys about, thank you, Pam, for bringing up Purple Stride, because that's where I was going next. Somebody please translate for Kitty and Armin. Can you guys talk about the Purple Stride and the Trek Against Pancreatic Cancer and how people can get involved?
Tamir wants to know, can you talk about Purple Stride and Trek Against Cancer and how people can get involved?
JC, you're better at this than
PanCAN.org/
What is it? Team
The
track.
embodied voice of Jonathan Frakes.
No, I'm kidding.
Jonathan, say a
Come
little
on,
bit.
Armin.
Can you
Yeah.
project, Jonathan? Can you project?
We can't see.
One
Can't
time
even
you
see him, and all you
Can you
hear is
project?
his voice.
No, really. Yeah. Go to the page and sign up. And whether you just donate or start your own team and walk with us in LA or walk in your own town on that day, it's really, again, about sort of taking action with us, right? Taking whatever steps you can to stretch the metaphor as far as possible to help raise, whether it's money or awareness or anything to help, right? Because if one person who has a back pain or diabetes, hears about this and it saves their lives, then we've done our job, right?
And if you are not someone who, perhaps because obviously we are going through a very difficult time economically in our country, if money is an issue, megaphoning is a huge role that you can play to share the story, to share if you're on any social media, just to spread the word, does a huge solid to all of us.
Mm-hmm.
And really always remember, sorry, go ahead.
I was just saying, did you all hear the website that he said? Because I think there was
please repeat it.
Good for you, Pam. Somebody say it again.
Go, Jonathan.
Okay, I think everybody can hear me, right?
Yes, we can all hear Pam. Pam.
Okay, it is purplestride.org/team-trek. And that'll take you directly to their team page where you can join the team, you can participate, you can fundraise, you can donate, you can do whatever you want. And, like John just said, times are tough right now, times are tough. And if people want to just join and just come and celebrate the day, that is fine. That is absolutely fine.
And it's April 25th, right?
April 25th. Post it on your socials, story it, put it on your TikTok, everywhere. Just spread it. Spread the word.
And if you're going to be in LA, come walk with us.
Come walk with us. Santa Monica Pier, 3 bagels.
We leave from the Santa Monica Pier, and every year Jonathan gives a piggyback to the person who donates the most money to our team.
Wait, let's go back to this piggyback. Right, what's happening here?
Well, the thing is that Jonathan frequently donates the most money to himself just so we can get out of giving the piggyback ride. He's a trickster.
He is.
Little Jedi mind trick. Sorry to use a different.
I just in other cities and other purple strides in other cities, they are just as joyous as Los Angeles. We don't always have the West Coast and the Pacific Ocean, but the joy that I felt in the other cities is incredibly palpable.
Well, I just wanted to,
I'll just say real.
Go ahead. I want to ask one question real quick. Okay. Oh, I'm sorry, Pam. I didn't know that was you talking. Go ahead.
I was just going to say, for people that are outside of the LA area, if you go to purplestride.org, you'll see the list of all of the cities that are participating. You can sign up at any Purple Stride and show up and walk and be a part of this and walk for Team Trek anywhere you are.
And there's there are little team treks all like in Connecticut. There's a group of that they're everywhere. We're Legion.
And as the resident Ferengi here, I should remind everybody it's all free. It's all
Yep. As I like to say, we are a federation of teams across
federation of teams.
They already have a schedule in Norfolk for next year. The park, they got everything, all the schedule.
You can sign up already
for next year in Norfolk.
I see some people in the chat have signed up or saying that they've signed up already too.
Always take over.
Yeah.
Go
People are already
ahead,
signing up. Oh, I wanted to I wanted to go, and I know you guys do the big walk in April, but this is a big organization that works 24 hours a day, every day. So what happens, or what can we help with every day, or days that are not the walk? Is there things that we can help with? Because I know you guys, the federal government is, a little crazy right now.
Yeah.
So I know you guys are not getting the funding you need. So what's happening there? Because that's got to be big. Because you even mentioned that earlier.
Yeah. Well, and just so you know, we don't get direct funding from the federal government,
Okay.
but our researchers and scientists do.
Mhm.
So one of the things that we're doing, because, we say all the time, we are, we took on pancreatic cancer as a disease. We are up for any challenge, and we're not going to let anything slow us down. So we're doing everything we can to put as much money into research as we can. Not that we'll ever close that gap, but
Right.
just for instance, we have our president and CEO, Julie Fleshman, has been on the Hill. I can't even count the number of times just in the past 6 months with other representatives and CEOs from other organizations, and they are pounding the pavement up there. They are really pushing hard directly on Capitol Hill. In fact, there was one congressional member that hosted a little gathering because she was personally touched by pancreatic cancer, and just sharing with some of the other congressional members. Can you hear my dogs in the background?
This is my dog.
Downstairs, I got my door
They're
closed.
cheering you on. Yeah, cheering you on.
That's all.
I am an animal lover. Okay.
They're agreeing. They're agreeing.
We love it. We love it.
Yeah, interrupt you.
But anyways, we are not going to, let down. We're going to push harder than we've ever pushed before. And we're going to make sure that the research gets funded, and these really smart people that are doing all this amazing work in their labs aren't forced to leave this disease and go elsewhere.
Yeah.
And Pam, may I ask, in reference to the vet's question, is it not a good thing to do every day? If you can't do it every day, but if you could, to write your representative and say, please do not cut the funds for cancer research, not just for pancreatic cancer, but for all cancer research.
Yeah.
Please do not cut those funds. I think we can do that every day. It's a great question.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's something we should do because, like you said, I mean, this whole show has showed how much, cancer research is needed, and I could go on a tangent about the state of the government, but everybody's attacking healthcare, and I just don't get it. But we have to be health. We talk about people are not eating. There's so many things that to be upset about. But that's why I wanted to bring it up. I know put this on your list, because now we know there's a list of things we need to do. So put this on your list too when you're fighting against something. Yeah.
One of the things Julie said, Yvette, Julie, the CEO, I was at this event a few weeks ago, and correct me if I'm wrong about this, Pamela, but what she did say was that surprisingly, she was heartened by being on the Hill because the legislature's still there and the Hill's still there. And there's a lot of individual lawmakers who want to help and want to take action, to use that word again. And so it's just about pushing the buttons in a different way, right? She's sort of hopeful.
Yes.
She was hopeful, which was heartening to me when she said that. I was sort of surprised. So all that to sort of say to sort of back up what Armin was saying, which was make yourself heard, take action, write your congressman or congresswoman, and make a point of it, because I think that there are individual people who get affected by this disease and become shooting stars and driving forces. And if one of those people is in Congress, they're going to find her and they're going to connect, and it's going to, you know what I mean? It's all of the above. Right? It's all of the above.
Yeah.
And people can go onto our website too at pancan.org and sign up to get our advocacy alerts.
Okay.
We make it really easy because the alert comes, it literally takes you 2 seconds. You fill in a couple things and they've already written the script for you. You can customize it if you want. You don't have to. You press the button and it gets sent.
I love it.
And it's the easiest thing
PanCAN on blast. Put us on blast, right?
Yeah.
I love that. That's a super easy.
I customize it because I have a story that kind of, I sometimes get it, but it's so easy to do, to just put your name in and say, this is my zip code, and they send it to the right person.
Yep. If they get enough of those, things get done in Congress.
Yes, they do.
Yeah.
Yes, they do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yvette, can you help me out, and I was gonna say thank you to everybody and see if is there anything else that we're forgetting that we want to highlight about for PanCAN.
So Tamia wants to know if there's anything we're leaving out, anything else you want to highlight for PanCAN?
I just want to say, first of all, we appreciate so much the invitation to be on this show, to get the word out to everybody, especially to the Black communities, like you were talking about. So important. We want people to feel empowered. We want people to be their own best advocates. And regardless of whatever situation is going on in the world today, it's important that we use our voices to amplify the messages, that we stomp our feet, and that we really demand better.
Yes. Yes.
Yep.
And yes.
Yep.
I mean,
bang the tables. Bang the tables.
That's it. That's it. Is there anything else you guys want to talk about, or anything coming up that you want to put out there before we go?
Can I add one little thing? It's
always.
It's been mentioned in it, but I just want to reiterate it. I heard a story from one of your guests about the doctor not looking at the patient, looking down at their shoes. Forgive me if I've forgotten who that was that told that wonderful story. Thank you, Pam.
Pamela.
Yeah.
I want to remind everyone what Pam just said before. When Kitty was diagnosed, when Pam's mom was diagnosed, when John's mother was diagnosed, the survival rate was 3 or 4%. It has tripled since then. Still bad, it's only 13%. But it's not a death sentence for everyone. I can't tell you how many people that Kitty has talked to, and they just assume they're going to die. Now, the chances are not great that they're going to survive, but it's not a complete death sentence. And if you have a friend or a relative that gets this horrible diagnosis, please tell them to have hope. To have hope. You can survive. You can survive.
Well, and to tack on to that, I just want to say really, really quick, because I know you're running out of time here. And I say this to every patient that I speak to, that regardless of whatever, and I'm a cancer survivor too, but whatever I've ever been diagnosed with, my question always is, and this is what I want everybody's question to be, has even one person ever survived this disease? And if that answer is yes, then why not me?
Right.
Why
Yes.
not you?
Wonderful.
And that's what we all have to ask that question, because we've got today people that were diagnosed. Gosh, one friend of mine in Atlanta, almost 14 years ago, she was given the 3 to 6 months, go home and get your affairs in order. They did the biomarker testing on her. They found a gene mutation. They hit it with the drug that was made specifically for that mutation. And she is here almost 14 years later.
Wow.
And we've got a lot of those stories. It's not just a handful of people. It's a lot of people. And those 13% that survive beyond 5 years, guess what? Well, that is a pathetic number, and we're striving to hit more. We're striving to hit 20% by 2030 now. That 13%, it represents thousands and thousands of patients. Those are people.
Yeah.
And families that surround them. And that surround them.
Yeah. That's amazing.
Well,
I think.
I have a friend who came up on stage. I brought 2 friends up on stage with me 2 years ago when all the survivors came up. And one of them is gone. But one of them is not only not gone, she's smoking. She's off doing a 150-mile bike ride right now. I mean, she's
Look at that.
Yeah.
Wow.
At my age. Yeah.
Wow.
Oh,
wow.
All of a sudden we can hear you.
What?
No, we can't.
Yes, we did for a moment. Yes, for a
What, you heard me? You heard me for a
Fine.
second? Ah. Oy vey.
Oy vey. Oy vey. She heard oy vey though.
You know what, you guys are the best.
Yes, absolutely. You
I
guys
am.
Irony.
I have.
The irony is not lost on any of us of how powerful this has been for this group. And I remember the Zoom we were all on when this became clear, and we celebrate her.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yes,
Thank
absolutely.
We are grateful for her and grateful for all of you, especially this week.
And what good friends you are
Yeah.
to promote this in her honor. What good friends you are.
Yeah.
Thanks so much, guys.
Happy Thanksgiving. May we live long and prosper.
Yes.
Yes, absolutely.
Yes.
Thank you so much
Happy
for
Thanksgiving, everyone.
being here, everybody. Love
Thank you so much,
Thank
guys.
you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Oh, thank you. Oh, guys, they almost got me there at the end.
Yeah, I mean, yeah.
Woo, child.
That damn Jonathan Frakes.
That Jonathan. I was like, God dang it. Man.
Oh, go on, get through this. Get through this.
Oh, you guys, thanks for everybody out there who's stuck in there. This was a big, long show tonight, and we're so grateful for you all, and really grateful that you stayed the whole time. And for Subrina, I know there's some, thanks for the laughs. I know there's some tears out there too, but it really does feel very special and a great honor to be able to raise awareness in her honor and in everybody else's honor who has suffered from this disease or whose families have suffered from this disease. So thanks for coming on this, jumping on board with us, you guys.
Yeah,
definitely. We really appreciate it. And we're always super grateful for you all. And, we just don't exist without you. We've said it since day one. We could sit here, Fran and Subrina and I were talking into the wind, but it became a thing when people started talking back to us and realized oh shit, people out there that actually care and listening to what we have to say, which is crazy, but cool. Right. So thank you all. But we do thrive because of you and with your help. So if you are interested in helping to see us continue to do the work that we do, please consider sponsoring us on Patreon. I mean, not sponsoring us, supporting us on Patreon, becoming a patron on Patreon, which is patreon.com/SyFy Sistas. You can reach us there. And if you are a business or brand or organization that believes in what we're doing, we'd love to partner with you for our next season. So you can contact us at info@syfysistas.com for more information and help us keep Subrina's light shining and help us keep our light shining and Black voices shining. And speaking about next season, Yvette.
Yeah. So I don't know if you guys know, this is our last episode for the season. Before we wrap up tonight, we wanted to take the moment to remind everyone that the Subrina Wood Legacy Fund is always open. We now have new holiday designs available. Please check them out and support if you can. And we're thrilled to share that the first 2 Boldly Gold grants applications are now open through Monday, December 1st. Please, 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 please share, nominate, fill it out for yourself. We would like to have a bunch of people fill it out so we can give out this 2 $500 grants. We would also like to give a heartfelt thank you to the PanCAN Trek team that you just saw for helping us go over the top for our next Boldly Gold grant. So we're already, once these are given out, we already have enough to give out others just because of the people who just left this, who left the stage, who generously gave to these grants. So I want to say thank you to them. We truly appreciate you. Tomorrow, don't miss the season finale of Soul of the Story, where Derek's going to sit down with the incredible Eliza Pearl, and it's a conversation you just don't want to miss.
It's going to be so good.
And be sure to listen to our newest episode, 520, of the SyFy Sistas podcast, featuring Strange New World's very own Rung Fu. It's very fun. It's me and Fran, you're going to be like, what the hell?
We did a good job.
We did a damn good job, but those are not the voices people are usually ready to hear when they turn on the podcast. But even though this is the final season, this is the finale of season 2 of the live show, you can always catch up on all our content over at SyFy Sistas Inc. As always, please like, comment, and share tonight's episode. It really helps us reach more people. Thank you for joining us and being part of this wonderful community.
Thank you. And that's the truth. Fran, you got any thanks you want to say right quick before we sign off?
I'm humble and thank you. How can you say thank you? That's all I got.
This guy. What is this?
I know this guy. What the hell, Jamal?
We can't take a break.
I know, Joe. A holiday special. I'm a film. We're gonna record a holiday special in July and save that shit
and save
it on your ass, right? In December, we're gonna be out there in some shorts and shit talking about jingle bells. Jingle bells.
We're gonna have Fran out there doing jingle bells.
Yeah, sexy Fran.
I got some jingle bells for you.
That's right.
While you're jabbing.
On that note, my friends, we are gone. We out of here. We love you all. Peace, love, and hair grease.